Manchester United fans, I have two massive questions for you, and the first one is something we seriously need to think about as a fan base. Let's start with that first question. If Casemiro is willing to take a wage cut, would you personally give him another 2 years at Manchester United? Right now he's earning around £350,000 per week, but imagine he drops that to around 200 to 250k. Would you keep him at the club for 2 more seasons? Would you trust him to remain in the squad while we bring in a younger midfielder who can work alongside him, learn from him, grow under him, and eventually replace him when he finally moves on? Because that's the real question here. If Casemiro lowers his wages, do you still see him as a valuable part of Manchester United's next 2 years? And this brings me to the second big point, because if Manchester United qualify for the Champions League next season, then you will truly understand why we desperately need Casemiro, and why we also need another midfielder in that same position. Right now, we're only playing 1 match per week. Most of our key players are fit, the schedule is light, and even at that, Casemiro still doesn't complete 90 minutes in every game. So imagine what happens when we return to Champions League football. Imagine when we're playing twice a week, traveling across Europe, coming back to face tough Premier League sides, then you'll appreciate the real meaning of squad depth. Because so many fans think the solution is simple: let Casemiro go and replace him. But that's not how football works. That's not how big clubs survive. That is not the solution. If we want to compete on all fronts, if we want to play Champions League football and still stay strong in the league, then we need depth, and not just any depth, we need quality depth. With the limited funds the club has, it makes no sense to throw away a player like Casemiro. The smart move is to keep him, then bring in another midfielder who can support him, rotate with him, and cover the games he cannot play. That way we still have enough money to strengthen the other positions that desperately need help. Personally, I think it is absolutely crucial for us to sign a midfielder this January, not in the summer, not later, this January. We need someone who can maintain our intensity in the second half when Casemiro is taken off. Someone who can start games when Casemiro needs to rest. Someone who can ensure our midfield doesn't collapse the moment Casemiro steps off the pitch. Because right now, our number 1 goal should be finishing in the top 4. That is the priority. That is the foundation for next season. And if we do that, if we get Champions League football, then we automatically know the squad will need even more reinforcements. The truth is simple: most players are only fit right now because we play once a week. If we start playing twice a week next season, injuries will increase, the squad will be stretched, and that is exactly why we need as many quality options as possible. And let's be realistic: if Ugarte is sold, then next season we would need Casemiro, Bruno, plus 2 more midfielders, and Mainoo, that's 5 midfielders. Why? Because we play with 2 deep-lying midfielders, and you need 2 players for every position at a top club. But right now, we cannot sign 2 midfielders at once. It's simply not possible with the winter budget. So the plan is obvious. Get 1 midfielder in January to support Casemiro, and another in the summer who can eventually become Bruno's long-term replacement. That is the only logical, sustainable path forward. Now let's move to the second question. Should Manchester United actually sell Bruno Fernandes? Because the truth is simple: the only reason Bruno is being forced to play as one of the deeper number 6 is because we genuinely don't have anyone else who can play that role. So when we talk about signing a midfielder in the winter window, the big question is this: should that signing be someone who supports Casemiro, or someone who supports Bruno Fernandes? We all know United play with 2 deep midfielders, but their responsibilities are not the same. One is that true dictator, the one who sits deeper, links defense to attack, controls the tempo, and does almost all the dirty work. The other is a player who can pass long, pass short, carry the ball, distribute quickly, and help us progress up the pitch. If you watch our recent games carefully, it's actually obvious that the bigger need right now is a Casemiro-type player, someone who can come in when Casemiro is subbed off and still give us that structure, that organization, that defensive presence, and that ability to link play. Right now, whenever Casemiro comes off, we simply don't have anyone on the bench who can do his job, and that is a big problem. That is why I strongly believe this January we need a proper defensive midfielder who can organize the midfield, keep the ball moving, win duels, and pass with confidence. Then next summer, we can go for a midfielder in Bruno's role so that if Bruno eventually leaves, we already have someone prepared to step in. Because one thing is clear, Bruno shouldn't be playing deep next season if we get a proper midfielder. And honestly, selling Bruno in the summer shouldn't be a taboo topic. If a good offer comes in, why shouldn't we consider it? The reality is if we don't sell him now, sometime soon he will still leave and we will end up losing out completely, especially when we are trying to rebuild properly. You cannot rebuild with only young players, you need experience mixed in. That's why players like Casemiro and Maguire should stay for depth while we bring in their replacements now, not later. But with Bruno, it's different. He doesn't perform well when he's forced to play deeper, yet in this current team, that is the only place he fits. And that's exactly why I'm still upset we didn't sign a proper midfielder last summer, someone who would have spent this season learning from Bruno and taking over next season. I don't want us repeating the same mistake with Casemiro. We must get his replacement in January, but still give Casemiro a 2-year extension so he can help guide the younger players and give us depth and experience. But for Bruno playing deep next season, for me personally, that should be a complete no. We also need to address the wing-back positions urgently. This winter, a proper left wing-back is a must, and then next summer we should go for a right-back so that we finally have 2 solid options on both sides. Manchester United is a big club, and if we truly want to compete at the highest level again, we need real depth and healthy competition in every position. That's how top teams operate. Because right now, the truth is simple, one injury can completely destabilize this team. Our squad is too thin, and we're still in the rebuilding phase, but I genuinely believe we're heading in the right direction. We just need to make sure we're buying actual wingbacks, not wingers converted into wingbacks. I keep seeing fans saying they want Semenyo to play as our left wing-back, but they don't understand the damage that would cause. That is basically opening up our entire right and left side for opponents to attack freely. We're already seeing how shaky that right side is defensively when Ahmad plays there, and some fans want to repeat the same mistake on the left. That makes no sense. Football is not only about attacking, you must also defend properly. And in this formation especially, we are very exposed to counter-attacks, so we cannot take that risk. What we need is a proper wing-back on each side, someone who can cross first time, someone who can attack with purpose but also defend with reliability. We are already struggling with wide area crosses. We have conceded so many goals from crosses this season, and instead of exposing ourselves more, we need to learn from it, fix it, and strengthen that area. The worst thing we can do now is weaken it further. We also need to think seriously about getting another striker, especially if the club is not planning to give Zirkzee a proper chance. There are already speculations that Zirkzee might leave in January, and if that actually happens, then we are left with no choice. We must bring in another striker to support Sesko, who himself is currently injured. It is honestly frustrating that we are still dealing with striker problems after all these years. But for me personally, I don't think the issue is completely the striker's fault. Look at how we play. You have Dalot playing as a left wing-back, and then you expect your striker to magically score goals. How? He barely gets any crosses, in fact, sometimes he gets none at all. How do you expect him to score consistently when we all know he is at his best when he receives crosses? He has the height, he has the movement, but if there are no deliveries into the box, then what do you want him to do? The same thing happened with Rasmus. So for me, I cannot put full blame on the striker. I believe he is still adapting to the Premier League, and he clearly needs time to get used to the pace and intensity before he can really start scoring goals regularly. But at the same time, we also have to start actually playing for the striker. It is very obvious that Manchester United have not played for their striker in a long time. We don't create for him, we don't feed him the ball in the right areas, and then we complain when he doesn't score. We must fix that. Getting proper wingbacks is part of that solution. Then you talk to Cunha and the other number 10s and explain to them that they don't always need to go for goal themselves. Sometimes the better option is to pass to the number 9, let him get into rhythm, let him be the one on the end of chances. That alone can change everything. Because once the striker starts scoring, his confidence will rise, and once his confidence grows, everything becomes easier, for him and for the team. With Martinez back in the team, it basically means Luke Shaw will now return to playing as a left wing-back as well. So the big question now is this: should we buy a new left wing-back, or should we prioritize getting a right wing-back instead, especially when you consider AFCON? Because once AFCON starts, Ahmad and Mazraoui will both be gone, and then we will only have Dalot available for that right-sided role. Meanwhile on the left, we already have Shaw and Dorgu. So what do you think we should sign? Let me know in the comment section. Now, this is actually my favorite formation with our current squad when AFCON arrives and we lose Mbeumo, Ahmad, and Mazraoui. This is exactly how I would set us up with the players we have right now. Yes, I fully understand that we still need reinforcements, and I know the club will eventually bring them in, but with the present team as it is, this is the setup that makes the most sense to me. I want Shaw at left wing-back and Dalot at right wing-back. Then with Mason Mount returning, I want him back in the lineup with Cunha as the two number 10s, while Bruno and Casemiro play deeper as the double pivots. If Sesko is fit and available, then he can start. But if not, then we should give Zirkzee that chance, because I believe he also deserves an opportunity to play in that position for us. We actually have a lot of players who can score with their head, but the problem is we simply don't cross the ball enough. For me, I want to keep both Zirkzee and Sesko, but at the same time, we need real wingbacks, proper ones who can deliver crosses for fun. Because that is how you take advantage of the height we have in this team, that is how you enjoy your attacking players properly, and that is how you bring the best out of your strikers. Right now, we honestly don't need another number 10. But the truth is this: if we end up losing Zirkzee either in the winter or in the summer, and then Mason Mount still can't handle playing 2 matches per week, which we already know is a big possibility, then who should we target next summer? For me, my number 1 choice is Semenyo. There are also rumors about Adeyemi from Dortmund, but personally, Semenyo is at the top of my list. His Premier League proven, he's physical, and he works unbelievably hard. He can add so much to our attack because he brings qualities we desperately need. He loves to cross the ball, he carries the ball with confidence, he enjoys scoring, he's aggressive, and above all, he is a proper team player. These are things we lack consistently in that area of the pitch. So for me, if we're going to sign a new number 10 next summer, Semenyo would absolutely be my number 1 target. Manchester United fans, at the end of the day, everything we are talking about comes down to one thing: building a team that can compete again at the very top. A team with depth, with structure, with identity, and with real solutions on the pitch. We are rebuilding, yes, but we must rebuild with intelligence, with patience, and with purpose. We can't keep repeating the same mistakes every season. We can't keep allowing players to leave without proper replacements. We can't keep hanging our entire season on one injury, one suspension, or one player's fitness. That's why decisions on Casemiro, on Bruno, on the midfield, on the wing-backs, and even on the striker position must be done with clear planning. We have to build a squad where every position has competition, where no player feels too safe, where the substitutes can come in without dropping the level. That is how big teams operate. That is what Manchester United used to be. And that is what we are trying to return to. Keeping Casemiro for 2 more years while bringing in his replacement is smart. Replacing Bruno the right way, and not out of emotion, but with a long-term strategy, is also smart. Strengthening our wing-back positions with proper wing-backs, not converted wingers, is necessary. Fixing our striker situation is key. We need to learn from everything that has happened this season and start doing things the right way. And a big message to the fans: we also need to calm down sometimes. We push agendas too quickly. One minute we're screaming for a player at all costs, the next minute we're condemning him after 2 bad games. We wanted Sesko immediately, now some people are doubting him. We pushed for Belieber, now we want Anderson for over £100 million. We need to slow down and think deeper. Football is not about hype, it's about planning. It's about balance. It's about building a team step by step and trusting the process. But let me tell you this, we are on the right path. You can see it in the performances. You can see it in the structure. You can see it in how the players fight. And you can feel that something is building. Now is the time to show belief. Now is the time to support the project. Now is the time to back the team. Because this next phase of the season, these next fixtures, these are the games that decide everything. This is where we need to take points. This is where we need to show mentality. This is where we prove that we are not just rebuilding, we are rising again. So let's keep believing. Let's stay united. Let's stay patient, but let's stay hungry. Because with the right signings, the right structure, and the right mentality, this team can go far. Very far. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and join the conversation in the comments. This journey is long, but trust me, we're building something special. United fans, stay strong, stay passionate, and stay ready. Big things are coming.